What if you were just one thought away from transforming your entire life? What if success didn't depend on luck, talent, or resources, but on something far more powerful, the way you think? Welcome to Think and Grow Rich, one of the most influential personal development books in history. Originally published in 1937, this timeless classic by Napoleon Hill has helped millions of people worldwide unlock the mindset required to achieve wealth, success, and fulfillment. But don't let the word rich mislead you. This book isn't just about money. It's about mastering the mental laws of success. It teaches you how to develop burning desire, unshakable faith, focused persistence, and the power of definitive purpose. These are the same principles used by iconic leaders like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and modern entrepreneurs like Oprah Winfrey and Elon Musk. Hill spent over 25 years studying the habits of the most successful people of his time. From that research, he identified 13 core principles, simple, practical steps anyone can follow, regardless of background, education, or circumstance. In this audiobook-style summary, we'll break down each chapter into clear, engaging insights. You'll not only understand the philosophy behind success, you'll learn how to apply it in today's fast-paced, competitive world. If you're ready to rewire your thinking and take full control of your future, this is where the journey begins. Let's dive into Chapter 1, The Power of Desire, Fueling the Fire Within. The power of desire. Fueling the fire within. What drives someone to break boundaries, rise from nothing, and achieve greatness against all odds? It always starts with one thing: desire. Not a passing wish, not a vague hope, but a deep, burning obsession. A desire so strong that it consumes your thoughts, your energy, your actions, and your time. That's the power behind every major success story. And it's the very first principle in Napoleon Hill's timeless formula for wealth and achievement. In this chapter, Hill makes it abundantly clear. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But belief alone isn't enough. You need desire, the kind that transforms thoughts into reality. Let's dig deeper. A definite goal plus burning desire equals success. The starting point of all achievement is desire, but there's a difference between wishing for success and being determined to achieve it. Wishing is passive, desire is active. Wishing waits, desire works. Think about the modern-day entrepreneurs who've changed the world. Elon Musk didn't just hope to revolutionize transportation and space. He had a burning desire, clear, specific, and unrelenting. Oprah Winfrey didn't just dream of becoming a talk show host. Her desire to rise above poverty and make an impact fueled her journey. Desire gives you the why, and that why gives you the strength to endure every how. It turns setbacks into fuel. It sharpens focus. It makes the impossible feel possible. But Hill adds an important twist. Desire must be specific. You can't just want to be successful or have more money. You need a clear goal, a definite amount, a deadline, and a plan. The story of Edwin C. Barnes, a real-life example. Napoleon Hill opens this chapter with the story of Edwin C. Barnes, a man who desperately wanted to work with the legendary inventor Thomas Edison. Barnes didn't know Edison personally. He didn't have money. He wasn't educated. But he had one thing most people lack, an all-consuming desire. He didn't say, "I'd like to work for Edison someday." He said, "I will go into business with Edison. I'll partner with him." That was his goal, and nothing less would satisfy him. He didn't wait for the opportunity. He acted. With barely enough money for a train ticket, he traveled across the country, showed up at Edison's office, and declared his intention. At first, he was given a small, unimportant job. Months passed. People laughed. But Barnes never lost sight of his purpose. He kept his desire burning. Then came his opportunity. Edison had invented a dictating machine and needed someone to sell it. No one else believed in it, but Barnes did. He asked for the chance, and Edison gave it to him. Barnes sold the product so well that Edison made him a partner. He had achieved exactly what he desired. Hill writes, Barnes won his goal because he wanted to be a business associate of Mr. Edison more than he wanted anything else. The lesson? When your desire is that focused and that strong, success has no choice but to respond. 6 steps to turn desire into gold. Napoleon Hill doesn't leave desire in the realm of abstract motivation. He breaks it down into 6 practical steps that anyone can follow. Whether your goal is to make $1 million, launch a business, or achieve personal mastery, these 6 steps give you a roadmap. Here they are. 1. Fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. Don't be vague. Be precise. Wanting a lot of money isn't enough. Do you want $100,000? $1 million? Name your figure. 2. Determine exactly what you intend to give in return. Nothing comes for free. What service, product, or effort will you exchange for your goal? Success requires value creation. 3. Establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money. Deadlines drive focus. They convert dreams into goals. 4. Create a clear plan and begin at once, whether you're ready or not. Don't wait for perfection. Start with what you have from where you are. 5. Write a clear, concise statement. Include the amount of money, the time limit, what you'll give in return, and the plan. 6. Read your statement aloud twice daily, once before bed, once upon waking. Feel and believe the words. Let them sink deep into your subconscious. This practice might sound simple, even outdated, but science now supports it. Repetition creates belief, and belief shapes behavior. When you continuously impress a goal upon your mind, you train your brain to look for opportunities and take aligned action. From wishing to willing, the Transformation Hill emphasizes that the leap from wishing to willing is where most people fail. Wishing for riches won't bring them, but being willing to burn all bridges behind you, to commit with no retreat, is a different game. When people fail, it's often not because they lack the skill or intelligence. It's because they lacked the emotional fire to keep going. Let's consider a modern parallel. Jeff Bezos, before Amazon was Amazon, he left a comfortable Wall Street job and risked everything to sell books online. Everyone thought it was a joke, but he was willing to fail, willing to endure ridicule, willing to go all in. This is what Hill means by definiteness of purpose backed by burning desire. Burning the boats, commitment without retreat. One of the most powerful metaphors Hill uses is burning the boats. It refers to an ancient military strategy. A general lands his troops on enemy shores and burns the ships behind them. There's no escape, no option but to win. Successful people often do the same, psychologically. They remove the safety nets. They commit so fully that failure becomes unacceptable. If you leave yourself a way out, chances are you'll use it. But when you make your goal your only option, your mind finds a way forward. Take Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She started with $5,000 and no background in fashion or business. But she quit her sales job and went all in. No plan B. Just burning desire and bold action. Today, she's one of the world's youngest self-made female billionaires. Fear, doubt, and desire. Who wins? Desire must be stronger than fear, stronger than doubt, stronger than excuses. Hill explains that most people stop when failure strikes. But the truly successful use failure as fuel. They adapt, they persist, they return to their written goal and keep going. Fear whispers, "What if I fail?" Desire replies, "What if I succeed beyond anything I imagined?" When desire is strong, it drowns out fear, And here's the truth. The world does not reward mere effort. It rewards results. And results come from focused desire put into consistent, relentless action. Final thoughts, igniting your fire. As we wrap up Chapter 1, the message is simple but profound. Desire is the first step toward riches. Without it, nothing happens. With it, anything is possible. You don't need money, connections, or genius to begin. You need clarity. You need fire. You need to decide right now what you truly want. So ask yourself, what do I desire more than anything else? Am I willing to pay the price? Am I ready to act without retreat? Remember Hill's words. There is a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. When you're truly ready, when your desire becomes an obsession, the universe begins to align in your favor, and that's how ordinary people achieve extraordinary success. Chapter 2. Faith, the visualizer of belief. Success starts with desire, but desire, on its own, is like a spark. To turn that spark into flame, it must be fueled by faith. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill defines faith not in a religious sense, but as a mental state, a belief so strong, so consistent, that it literally reshapes your reality. Faith is what transforms hope into certainty, and certainty into action. Hill says, faith is the head chemist of the mind. When faith is blended with thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration, translates it into its spiritual equivalent, and transmits it to infinite intelligence. Let's break that down in modern terms. What is faith, really? Faith is a mindset of absolute belief, unshaken, unbending, and emotionally rooted. It's not passive. It's not just hoping for the best. It's knowing, deep down, that you will succeed even if you don't yet see how. And here's the powerful part. Faith isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. You develop faith through repetition, self-talk, and emotional commitment. In this chapter, Hill gives us a simple but powerful formula for programming the mind to believe. And when the mind believes, the body acts accordingly. Autosuggestion, the link between thought and belief. Faith is built through autosuggestion, the practice of feeding your subconscious mind with clear, emotionally charged thoughts over and over again. Hill explains that thoughts mixed with emotion are picked up by the subconscious and become the foundation of your belief system. And once something becomes part of that belief system, your brain and body start working to make it real. Let's make this practical. If you repeat to yourself every day, I will earn $100,000 by June 2026. I will do it by building a high-value coaching business. I believe in my vision. I take action daily. I expect success. And you say it with confidence, emotion, and clarity, twice a day. Eventually, your subconscious will believe it. And when your subconscious believes something, your decisions, energy, focus, and resilience start aligning with that belief. Belief in action. Serena Williams doesn't walk onto the court hoping she might win. She walks in knowing she will. Steve Jobs didn't doubt that the iPhone would change the world. He believed it long before the world caught up. Faith was the fuel behind Muhammad Ali's bold declarations. I am the greatest. He didn't wait for the world to believe it. He believed it first, said it aloud, and then backed it with action. That's the lesson. Faith comes before evidence, not after. Hill argues that faith is a state of mind that may be induced by affirmation or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind. In other words, if you want to believe it, you can train yourself to believe it. Okay, how fear destroys faith. The enemy of faith? Fear. Fear is the mental habit of expecting failure. And just like faith, fear is also built through repetition. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not smart enough, I don't have enough experience, what if I fail?" then your subconscious begins to accept those thoughts as true. It believes what you tell it most often, especially when those thoughts are emotional and repetitive. Hill's solution is simple but powerful. Guard your thoughts, feed your faith, starve your fear. Don't wait for confidence to appear on its own. Generate it, program it, choose it daily. The formula for faith: 3 key steps. Hill gives us a practical method to build faith intentionally. It involves a daily mental routine, what he calls the self-confidence formula. Here are the 3 steps. 1. Affirmation of a definite goal. Every day, repeat your goal aloud with conviction and emotion, not as a wish, but as a fact you're stepping into. 2. Visualization. See yourself already in possession of your goal. Picture the success. Feel the emotions. Make it real in your mind. 3. Emotional involvement. The more feeling you attach to your affirmations and visualizations, the more your subconscious accepts them. This isn't just motivational fluff. Neuroscience now confirms what Hill taught nearly a century ago. The brain can't distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. That's why athletes visualize success before competing, and why you should too. A word on persistence. Faith and persistence go hand in hand. It's easy to believe when things are going well, but real faith shows up when you're facing obstacles, when your plans fail, when people doubt you, when fear knocks on your door. Hill reminds us, faith is not passive belief. It is active commitment. Let's take Thomas Edison again. He failed over 10,000 times before successfully inventing the light bulb. Did he lose faith? No. He saw each failure as a step closer to success. That's faith in action. Modern-day equivalent? Think of Howard Schultz, who was rejected by over 200 investors before Starbucks became a reality. Or J.K. Rowling, rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter found a home. They succeeded because their faith in the outcome was stronger than their fear of rejection. Don't forget any headlines. Howard Schultz is proof the faith is active. Modern-day equivalent. Think of Howard Schultz, who was rejected by over 200 investors before Starbucks became a reality. Or J.K. Rowling, rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter found a home. They succeeded because their faith in the outcome was stronger than their fear of rejection. Don't forget, any headline, you are what you believe. Napoleon Hill writes, "The dominating thoughts of your mind, backed by belief, will eventually reproduce themselves in outward, physical reality." Let that sink in. Your life today is a reflection of your strongest past beliefs. And your future? It will be shaped by the beliefs you choose from this moment forward. If you believe you can build wealth, create impact, or live with purpose, you're right. If you believe you can't, you're also right. This is the most empowering truth in Hill's entire philosophy. You are the master of your thoughts, and therefore, the creator of your future. The science behind it, modern insight. In today's terms, this chapter connects directly with what psychologists call the self-fulfilling prophecy, the idea that your beliefs shape your behavior, and your behavior creates your results. Modern neuroscience shows us that repeated thoughts create neural pathways. The more you think something, the stronger that pathway becomes. Eventually, your brain begins to operate on those beliefs automatically. In essence, your brain becomes what you feed it. That's exactly what Hill taught in 1937, long before the science could prove it. Final thoughts. Build unshakable faith. It's not magic. It's mental conditioning. It's not about closing your eyes and wishing. It's about opening your mind, programming it with clarity, and reinforcing it daily. You already have the tools. You have your voice, your imagination, your emotion. Use them to install belief. So here's your call to action. Write down your goal. Create a daily affirmation that includes the outcome, the deadline, and what you'll give in return. Visualize your success each morning and night with emotion. Speak as if you already believe it, even if it feels unnatural at first. And most importantly, persist. Faith is not built in a day, it's built daily. Chapter 3, Autosuggestion, the bridge between desire and belief. What if you could reprogram your mind the same way you update a smartphone, clearing out old beliefs and installing new, powerful ones? That's the purpose of autosuggestion, a core principle in Think and Grow Rich. In this chapter, Napoleon Hill introduces a simple but transformative idea. Your subconscious mind accepts and acts on repeated thoughts, especially those tied to strong emotion. Autosuggestion is the bridge between your conscious thoughts and your subconscious beliefs. It's how your desire becomes belief and how belief turns into behavior. What is autosuggestion? Autosuggestion means feeding your mind intentional thoughts on purpose with repetition and emotion so that they sink into your subconscious. Hill says autosuggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind with thoughts of a creative nature. In simpler words, whatever you tell yourself over and over again, with emotion, your subconscious eventually accepts as truth. And once your subconscious believes something, your behavior and results begin to reflect that belief. Why autosuggestion matters. Here's the hard truth. You are already using autosuggestion every day. The only question is, are you using it intentionally or accidentally? Every time you say, I'm not good enough, or this won't work for me, you're programming failure into your subconscious. But when you say, I will build my business, or I'm becoming more confident and successful every day, you're programming success. Your mind listens. Your subconscious accepts what you repeat, and eventually your body, habits, and actions follow that programming. Autosuggestion isn't about tricking your brain. It's about training it. The role of emotion. Hill emphasizes that repetition alone isn't enough. The thoughts you repeat must be charged with emotion, especially faith. Why? Because emotion makes thoughts stick. If you say, I'm successful, but you don't feel it, your subconscious will reject it. But if you say it with conviction, visualize it, and feel the pride, gratitude, or excitement behind it, your subconscious starts to believe it. Think of your subconscious mind like soil. Thoughts are seeds. Repetition is water. Emotion is sunlight. No sunlight, no growth. The autosuggestion formula. Hill gives us a step-by-step process to apply autosuggestion. It's simple, practical, and powerful. 1. Write a clear statement of your goal. Include the exact amount of money or outcome you desire, the time limit, what you're willing to give in return, your plan to achieve it. 2. Read your statement aloud twice daily. Do it once before bed and once after waking. This timing is crucial. Your subconscious is most receptive during these moments. 3. Visualize and feel the achievement of your goal. As you read, see yourself already living the reality. Feel the success, the confidence, the satisfaction. This process should not be mechanical. You must engage emotionally. You must believe what you're saying. Real-life parallel. Muhammad Ali, a perfect modern example of autosuggestion. Muhammad Ali. He repeatedly declared, I am the greatest, long before the world agreed. He said it until he believed it. And once he believed it, he acted like it. He trained like it. He fought like it. His internal belief system, programmed by self-talk and visualization, drove his external results. This is the essence of autosuggestion. Repetition, emotion, belief, action, result. Why most people don't use it. The idea of repeating affirmations or visualizing success may seem strange or even silly to some. But that discomfort is exactly why most people never change. They'd rather cling to familiar doubts than adopt new beliefs. Hill says bluntly, man may become the master of himself and of his environment because he has the power to influence his own subconscious mind. Yet most people allow their environment to program them. They absorb fear from the news, negativity from social media, limiting beliefs from family or friends. Autosuggestion flips the script. It puts you in control of the messages you feed your mind. Think of the mind like a thermostat. Imagine your subconscious mind as a thermostat. If it's set to 70 degrees and your results start heating up to 80, it will cool you down to match your internal settings. This is why people sabotage success. Their internal beliefs don't match their external results. Autosuggestion lets you reset the thermostat. By repeating high-level thoughts backed by emotion, you gradually raise your mental temperature. Your results then rise to match your upgraded beliefs. Examples from the modern world. Let's look at modern entrepreneurs and creators. Tom Bilyeu, co-founder of Quest Nutrition and host of Impact Theory, speaks openly about reprogramming his identity through daily affirmations. He wrote on his mirror, "I am the type of person who gets things done no matter what." He repeated it until his subconscious accepted it, and his productivity skyrocketed. Jim Carrey, years before he was famous, wrote himself a $10 million check for acting services rendered and kept it in his wallet. He visualized it daily. Years later, he earned that exact amount for Dumb and Dumber. Coincidence? Maybe, but more likely, it was autosuggestion in action. These people didn't hope. They programmed belief through daily mental conditioning. Chapter Common Pitfalls to Avoid. Hill also warns us about the traps that weaken autosuggestion. 1. Lack of clarity. If your goal is vague, your mind won't respond. Be specific. 2. No emotion. Dry repetition is useless. Feel what you say. Believe it. 3. Inconsistency. Reading your statement once a week won't help. Do it daily, twice. 4. Negative self-talk. You can't affirm success while constantly speaking fear. Eliminate toxic mental input. Use autosuggestion for more than money. While this book focuses on riches, Hill reminds us that autosuggestion applies to any area of life: health, relationships, confidence, focus, creativity, leadership. The process is the same. Define what you want. Repeat it with emotion. Visualize the outcome. Feel the result. Do it daily. Soon, your mind starts aligning with your new self-image, and your behavior follows. Final thoughts. You are what you repeat. The biggest mistake people make? They wait to feel confident before they act. Hill flips that logic. Act confident first. Speak belief first. Let your feelings catch up later. You don't need proof to begin. You need repetition, emotion, practice. What you tell yourself consistently, you become. So starting today, make a decision. No more passive thinking. No more unconscious programming. You are now the chief architect of your thoughts. Use autosuggestion to design the belief system you need, and your results will rise to meet it. Chapter 4. Specialized Knowledge, the Fuel of Success. Knowledge is power, right? Not quite. Napoleon Hill makes a bold distinction here. Knowledge alone is not power. It only becomes power when it is organized, directed, and put into action for a definite purpose. In this chapter, Hill introduces the idea of specialized knowledge, the fourth principle of personal success. He makes it clear: if you want to create wealth, achieve mastery, or rise in any field, general knowledge won't get you far. It's not how much you know that counts. It's how well you use what you know. and how precisely you apply it toward a specific goal. 2 types of knowledge. Hill divides knowledge into 2 basic categories. 1. General knowledge, broad facts, common understanding, things easily found in books or online. 2. Specialized knowledge, targeted, practical information directly tied to a specific industry, skill, or objective. The first kind fills libraries and universities. The second kind fills bank accounts. You can have a PhD and still be broke. You can know the entire history of economics and still struggle to pay rent. Why? Because success doesn't come from how many facts you can recall. It comes from how well you can use specific information to solve problems, create value, or build something of worth. End quote. Specialized knowledge in action. Let's say you want to build a digital marketing agency. You don't need to memorize every business theory from the last 100 years. You need to know how to generate leads for clients, how to run high-performing ad campaigns, how to price your services, how to communicate value and close deals. That's specialized knowledge. It's focused, profitable, applicable. Look around at today's world. Influencers who understand short-form video growth, freelancers who've mastered SEO or sales funnels, founders who deeply understand customer psychology. These people don't know everything, but they know something deeply useful, and they use it relentlessly. Hill's point is this: you don't need to know everything. You only need to know what matters for your goal, and then apply it with precision. And if you don't have that knowledge right now, good news, you can acquire it. The habit of lifelong learning. Hill stresses the importance of continual education, not necessarily in the traditional sense of degrees or diplomas, but in the form of self-directed, intentional learning. He warns against the false belief that education ends with school. In fact, most millionaires and high achievers develop their true edge after formal education ends, through reading specific books, attending targeted workshops, hiring mentors, testing and learning through direct action. In a 2025 world where AI, markets, and industries shift rapidly, this mindset is more essential than ever. The best investment you can make is not in stocks or crypto. It's in specialized knowledge that increases your ability to create, earn, and solve real-world problems. Where and how to get specialized knowledge. Hill outlines several places where you can acquire the knowledge you need: experience and practice, apprenticeships and mentorships, specialized books, courses, and workshops, mastermind groups or associations, online platforms and programs. In today's world, the access is easier than ever. YouTube University, Udemy, Coursera, and Skillshare, podcasts from industry leaders, AI tools that summarize, guide, or coach you in real time. But the real power isn't in just watching or reading. It's in doing, testing, applying. Hill reminds us, knowledge has no value except that which can be gained from its application toward some worthy end. Don't just consume. Use it. A real-world example. Sarah Blakely. Take Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She had no business background, no fashion training, but she had one advantage: a burning desire and the willingness to learn exactly what she needed. She researched fabrics, patents, and product development, learning just enough specialized knowledge to create her first prototype and pitch it. The rest, she figured out along the way. Result? A billion-dollar brand. Self-made. She didn't know everything. She learned what mattered. The danger of information overload. In our modern world, one of the biggest risks isn't ignorance. It's too much general information with no clear application. Hill's principle reminds us to ask, is this knowledge directly helping me move toward my goal? Am I learning or just distracting myself? If your goal is to start a design agency, learning ancient history may be interesting, but it won't pay your bills. Be strategic, be focused, be selective. The most successful people are learners, yes, but they are intentional learners. How specialized knowledge connects to wealth. Hill believed, and modern data confirms, that income follows value, and value comes from one of two things. 1. Solving a problem. 2. Meeting a need better than anyone else. And to do that, you need to know something specific and apply it consistently. This is why specialized knowledge leads to riches. Let's say you master TikTok ad optimization for brands. That one skill, if specialized enough, can make you $10K a month easily. Or if you understand commercial real estate investing in mid-size U.S. cities, you could build a portfolio that pays you for life. The more specialized your knowledge, the less replaceable you become, and the more your income grows. Final thoughts. Knowledge in motion. Hill closes this chapter with a reminder. Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes actual power when applied. So here's what you can do today. Identify what specific knowledge your goal requires. Make a list of books, people, courses, or tools that can help. Create a study plan, weekly, not someday. Test as you learn. Don't be afraid to seek mentors or build a team. And most importantly, don't wait until you know it all. Start applying what you learn as you go. Because specialized knowledge isn't a finish line. It's a competitive edge that grows with you. Chapter 5. Imagination, the workshop of the mind. Every great achievement begins in the same place, the mind. The skyscraper that reaches the clouds. The $1,000,000 startup born in a garage. The life-changing invention. The best-selling book. The world tour. The breakthrough business. Each of these once lived only in imagination. In Chapter 5, Napoleon Hill delivers a powerful truth. Imagination is the workshop where all plans are shaped and given form. It is the starting point of every fortune, the root of every innovation, and the silent partner behind all success. The power hidden in your mind. Think of imagination not as child's play, but as your most valuable mental asset. It is where ideas are born, refined, tested, and eventually transformed into reality. And here's what Hill makes absolutely clear. What your mind can imagine and your will can believe, your life can create. He says, ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes, and those ideas, they emerge from the power of imagination. You don't need to wait for inspiration to strike. You can learn to use imagination deliberately to solve problems, invent opportunities, and chart a new course. 2 types of imagination. Hill breaks imagination into 2 distinct types. 1. Synthetic imagination. 2. Creative imagination. Let's break each one down. 1. Synthetic imagination. The architect of ideas. This form of imagination doesn't invent anything new. Instead, it rearranges old ideas, concepts, and experiences into new combinations. Think of it like a chef using familiar ingredients to create a brand new recipe. Most business ideas, marketing campaigns, and systems come from synthetic imagination. Henry Ford didn't invent the car or the assembly line. He combined existing concepts in a new way. Steve Jobs didn't invent MP3 players, but he reimagined their design, interface, and ecosystem with the iPod. Synthetic imagination is practical, powerful, and essential. It takes what already exists and turns it into something more valuable, more efficient, or more appealing. Chapter 2. Creative imagination, the portal to infinite intelligence. This is where things get exciting. Creative imagination is the source of original ideas, the ones that seem to come out of nowhere. The sudden insight, the flash of inspiration, the voice that whispers a new possibility into your mind. Hill calls this form of imagination a direct link to infinite intelligence, a higher source of knowledge, energy, and consciousness, and creativity that can't always be explained logically. This is where genius lives. Artists, inventors, spiritual leaders, and visionaries often credit creative imagination as the source of their ideas. Think of Einstein's theory of relativity, Nikola Tesla's inventions, Oprah Winfrey's intuitive decisions, J.K. Rowling seeing Harry Potter in her mind on a train ride. These weren't simply rearranged ideas. They were fresh downloads from the unseen. Hill suggests that the more you use your creative imagination, especially when fueled by emotion, desire, and belief, the stronger it becomes. Imagination plus desire equals creation. Here's the core formula Hill drives home. Imagination plus burning desire equals power to create anything. If desire is the fuel, imagination is the engine. You must want something strongly enough, and then allow your mind to picture it in vivid detail. And once that image is formed, once the blueprint is created in your mind, you can begin to build it in the real world, step by step. It's not magic, it's process. It's clarity turned into action. Real-world example, Walt Disney. No one embodied this principle better than Walt Disney. He imagined entire worlds before a single brick was laid. He saw theme parks, characters, experiences, and dreams, years before anyone believed in them. People laughed at his early ideas. He was rejected hundreds of times when pitching Disneyland. But he believed in what he imagined, and because of that belief, he made the world believe too. Today, Disney is not just a company. It's a global ecosystem born entirely from imagination plus desire plus persistence. How to use imagination deliberately. Hill makes it clear, you don't need to wait for ideas to come. You can train your mind to imagine on purpose. Here's how. 1. Write down your definite chief aim. Your mind must know where it's going. When you define a clear goal, your imagination starts searching for ideas to help you reach it. 2. Visualize the outcome in detail. Imagine the outcome as if it's already real. Feel it, hear it, see it. Your subconscious responds to emotional imagery. 3. Ask better questions. What would this look like if it were 10 times better? How could I solve this in a completely new way? Who else has solved this, and what did they do differently? 4. Create quiet time. Many of our best ideas surface in silence. Walk, meditate, drive without distractions. Let your mind wander freely. 5. Use repetition and affirmation. When your goal is repeated daily through words and images, your imagination begins to bring new ideas and pathways into your awareness. Remember, your imagination is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. From thought to thing, Hill emphasizes a bold truth. Everything man-made begins as a thought. There's nothing you own or use right now that didn't first exist as an idea. Your phone, your shoes, your home, even the language we speak. It all started in someone's mind. That means your ideas, if backed by belief, action, and persistence, can also become reality. Avoiding imagination killers. Be careful of what weakens your imagination. Fear of failure shuts down creativity. Over-logic, trying to reason out every step before even starting. Overconsumption. Constant scrolling leaves no space for original thought. Negative self-talk. If you constantly doubt your ideas, they'll fade before they can grow. To strengthen imagination, give it room to breathe. Protect it. Feed it. Train it. Real-world success. Airbnb, another powerful example. Airbnb. The founders imagined that strangers might one day pay to stay on air mattresses in someone else's home. At the time, the idea sounded ridiculous. Hotels dominated. Trust was low. Tech wasn't ready. But they imagined a new kind of travel experience. They saw a future others couldn't. Today, Airbnb is worth billions, all because 3 people dared to imagine differently. Final thoughts. Your inner workshop. Hill leaves us with a challenge and a reminder. You already have access to the same tool every successful person uses. Imagination. It costs nothing. It works on demand. It connects you to possibility. It is the only place where you are truly unlimited. What separates dreamers from doers is what they do with what they imagine. So here's your invitation. Take your desire. Add belief. Mix in vivid imagination. Start building your plan. Because inside your mind is a workshop, and your next breakthrough, invention, or fortune might already be waiting inside. Chapter 6. Organized Planning, Turning Dreams into Strategy. So far, we've explored the power of desire, the importance of faith, the magic of autosuggestion, the role of specialized knowledge, and the function of imagination. But now it's time for the turning point, the bridge between thought and achievement. This is the moment where dreams get legs, where ideas become action. Your success becomes inevitable. Welcome to Organized Planning, the 6th principle in Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill doesn't mince words here. He says, "You have learned that everything man creates or acquires begins in the form of desire. Through imagination, it's given form. And through organized planning, that form becomes a tangible result. Planning, in short, is how you bring your desire to life." Why planning is non-negotiable. Let's be clear, desire alone is not enough. You can want something badly. You can feel it in your soul. You can visualize it every day. But unless you turn it into a plan, a strategy, a structure, a blueprint, your desire will fade into frustration. A goal without a plan, Hill reminds us, is just a wish. Think about it. The best athletes have training schedules. The best companies have business strategies. The best creators have production plans. The best investors have risk management models. No one stumbles into success. They build it, one step at a time, with a solid plan. The foundation of a successful plan. Hill lays out 4 key steps to develop a practical plan. 1. Ally yourself with a mastermind group. 2. Decide what you will give in return. 3. Create a clear plan and put it into action. 4. Be persistent and flexible in execution. Let's break these down. 1. Build a mastermind group. Success is never a solo act. You must surround yourself with people who support your vision, not just emotionally, but strategically. These are individuals who bring skills, knowledge, resources, or influence that you don't yet have. This is your mastermind group, a small circle of trusted minds united in purpose. You must choose carefully. Trust and alignment are key. Meet regularly. Keep ideas flowing. Offer value in return. This is a partnership, not a favor. Your mastermind is your advisory board. Think of it as your personal team of allies in your journey toward success. 2. Decide what you will give. There's no such thing as something for nothing. Hill emphasizes a key rule of success. There is no such thing as something for nothing. If you want success, wealth, recognition, impact, you must be ready to offer value. Ask yourself, what product, service, idea, or solution am I bringing to the table? How will it help others? What makes it different or better? Exchange is the engine of achievement. You don't get rich by asking, you get rich by serving. 3. Formulate a clear plan. Here's where vision becomes execution. Hill instructs, form your plan and put it into immediate action. If the first plan doesn't work, replace it with a new one, but keep moving. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for the perfect plan. Perfection is procrastination in disguise. Hill says, temporary defeat is not failure. It just means your plan needs work. So take these steps. Write down your plan, even if it's rough. Break it into actionable tasks. Assign timelines. Start now. Learn as you go. 4. Be persistent and flexible. Every plan will encounter resistance. That's normal. That's growth. Hill warns, failure will overtake you only when your will is weak. Your job is not to avoid failure. It's to adjust your sails when the wind changes. If your first plan fails, revise it. If your team doesn't work out, find new partners. If your offer flops, redesign it. Persistence plus adaptability equals unstoppable. Real-world example, Elon Musk. Let's look at Elon Musk, an icon of organized planning in modern business. When Musk envisioned SpaceX, most experts laughed. But he didn't stop at dreaming of reusable rockets. He made a step-by-step plan: funding, engineering, testing, failing, learning, and iterating. His early launches failed, spectacularly. But he didn't give up. He adjusted the plan, rebuilt the team, reallocated resources. Today, why most plans fail. Hill is honest. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they fail to plan vaguely, plan once, then stop, let one failure crush them. He warns, the majority of people who fail do so because of lack of persistence in creating new plans to take the place of those that fail. Planning is not a one-time event. It's a living, breathing process. You adapt it weekly, sometimes daily. The plan that gets you to your first $1,000 won't get you to $100,000. The plan that helps you get fit won't keep you healthy unless updated. The role of decision planning is worthless without decision. Hill's advice? Make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Why? Because indecision kills momentum. When you're clear on your goal and committed to action, you must move. Don't overthink. Don't wait for approval. Don't fear being wrong. Planning is not about being perfect. It's about being in motion. Real-world case. Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx. Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx, had no background in fashion, business, or product design, but she had a clear desire to create shapewear that worked for women. She developed a simple plan: prototype the product, pitch retailers, handle packaging and branding herself. At first, she was ignored, rejected, underestimated. But she kept refining the plan, finding new suppliers, learning marketing, cold calling buyers. Today, she's a self-made billionaire. Her story proves that even a basic plan, executed with conviction, can create massive success. Action steps. Turning dreams into blueprints. Hill challenges you to stop hoping and start planning. Here's how. 1. Write down your definite chief aim, the one goal you're committed to. 2. List what you'll offer in return: product, service, idea, or expertise. 3. Assemble a small group of allies. Even 2 people is a start. 4. Map out your first 30 days of action. Break it into weekly steps. 5. Expect obstacles and have a backup plan ready. 6. Track progress and adjust weekly. No plan survives contact with reality, but every plan can evolve. The key? Start now, even imperfectly. Final thoughts. The power of strategic action. Napoleon Hill's message in this chapter is clear. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. That's not just motivational fluff. That's strategy. Action separates the dreamers from the doers. Planning separates the wishful from the successful. Persistence separates the frustrated from the fulfilled. Your desire is powerful. Your imagination is brilliant. But until it becomes a plan, and that plan becomes action, your potential remains unused. So make your move, because success isn't waiting for you. It's waiting for your plan. Chapter 7. Decision. Mastering the power of commitment. Successful people make decisions quickly and firmly. Unsuccessful people make decisions slowly and change them often. These words from Napoleon Hill are more than a quote. They're a call to power. Welcome to Chapter 7 of Think and Grow Rich, where we discover how decision-making separates leaders from followers, success from stagnation, and achievement from regret. So far, you've built your desire, reinforced it with faith, shaped it with imagination, supported it with knowledge, and organized a plan. Now it's time to commit, because all the desire in the world means nothing until you decide to act. The root of all power, decision. Hill studied 25,000 life stories of people who failed, and the one thing they had in common? Indecision. Indecision is a thief. It robs you of time, energy, and momentum. It creates hesitation, fear, and confusion. But those who rise, the world's top leaders, innovators, creators, they don't wait for perfect clarity. They don't wait for permission. They decide and they move. Decision versus opinion. Here's one of the sharpest insights Hill delivers. Tell the world what you intend to do, but first show it. And that starts with protecting your mind from other people's opinions. The average person is heavily influenced by others. Friends who say, that won't work. Family who warns, play it safe. Strangers who criticize from the sidelines. But the successful person? They listen selectively and decide independently, because opinions are cheap, but decisions are power. Why we fear making decisions. Indecision often comes from fear, specifically fear of criticism, fear of failure, fear of being wrong. But here's the truth. Indecision is risk in disguise. Not deciding is deciding to lose. You will never have 100% of the information. You will never feel fully ready. You will never have perfect conditions. So instead of overanalyzing and delaying, you must do what successful people do. Gather what you can, trust your instinct, and move forward. Real-world example. Jeff Bezos. In the early days of Amazon, Jeff Bezos left his high-paying Wall Street job to sell books online. It wasn't a popular idea. He risked his career, his savings, and his reputation. But Bezos made a clear, quick decision based on what he called regret minimization. He asked, if I'm 80 years old, will I regret not trying this? That single question helped him commit fast. And today, Amazon isn't just a bookstore. It's one of the most influential companies on the planet. His secret? Fast decision-making, followed by relentless execution. The decision habit, a muscle you build. Hill makes it clear. Decision is a habit. The more often you make decisions quickly and firmly, the stronger that muscle becomes. Try this. Start with small choices. Don't agonize over food, clothes, or what to watch. Practice trusting your gut in daily decisions. Set deadlines for every major decision. Stick to them. Stop second-guessing once a decision is made. Commit fully. Over time, you'll become someone others admire. Decisive, confident, and proactive. The decision habit, a muscle you build. What happens after you decide? Once you make a decision, two things happen. 1. Your mind gains clarity. Doubt disappears. Energy surges. 2. The universe responds. People, opportunities, and events begin aligning. It may sound mystical, but it's actually psychological. Your brain, once focused, activates the reticular activating system, which begins noticing and attracting everything aligned with your goal. In short, decisions bring alignment. When you decide to become wealthy, your behavior changes. When you decide to get healthy, your choices improve. When you decide to succeed, your actions follow. You don't need better conditions. You need a better decision. Real-world case. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah didn't come from wealth. She didn't have elite connections, but she decided early on she would not live a small life. She chose purpose over pain, growth over comfort, and leadership over fear. When faced with huge decisions, starting her own network, walking away from syndicated TV, she didn't hesitate endlessly. She gathered facts, consulted her team, and made a move. And once she committed, she followed through. Decision and leadership. Hill's studies show that every great leader makes firm decisions, especially in uncertain times. Whether it's Abraham Lincoln abolishing slavery, Steve Jobs returning to Apple, Malala Yousafzai speaking out for education, the moment of change was always marked by one thing: a decision. The world follows those who lead themselves first. If you want to be respected, trusted, and remembered, decide who you are, what you stand for, and where you're going. Your definite chief aim needs a definite decision. Earlier in this book, you defined your definite chief aim, your major life goal. But goals alone are weak without a decision to pursue them daily. Ask yourself, have I made a non-negotiable decision to achieve this goal? Do I act like it's inevitable or optional? Am I ready to do what it takes, or just hoping for luck? Success begins the moment you stop negotiating with your excuses. Action steps. Train yourself to decide with power. Let's turn this lesson into immediate action. Starting now. Number 1. Write down one big decision you've been avoiding. Number 2. Set a 48-hour deadline to choose your path. Number 3. Once decided, commit for 30 days without second-guessing. Number 4. Limit how many people you share it with. Protect your energy. Number 5. Build momentum with daily actions, however small. And remember, indecision delays dreams. Decision activates them. Final thoughts. Decide, and the world moves. Napoleon Hill didn't just study theory, he studied the real behaviors of thousands of successful people. And every single one of them, without exception, was decisive. They didn't wait for clarity, ask everyone's opinion, delay until conditions were perfect. They decided, they committed, they adjusted as needed, but they never doubted themselves once the choice was made. Because a person who cannot decide cannot lead. And a person who won't decide won't succeed. Chapter 8. Persistence. The power that transforms desire into results. Persistence is to man's character what carbon is to steel. Welcome to Chapter 8 of Think and Grow Rich, the turning point where desire stops being just a wish and starts becoming reality. Desire is the starting point. Faith gives it power. Decision sets it in motion. But it is persistence that seals your success. Without persistence, talent wastes away. Without persistence, ideas die halfway. Without persistence, riches remain just a dream. What is persistence? Let's make it simple. Persistence is the ability to keep going even when everything tells you to stop. It's getting back up when you've been rejected. Showing up daily when there's no applause. Doing the hard thing long after the excitement is gone. Persistence isn't loud. It's not flashy. But it is the one trait every successful person has mastered. The real price of success. You've probably heard this before. Success comes to those who want it badly enough. But want alone isn't enough. Success comes to those who are willing to keep going when it gets hard, boring, slow, or painful. Because here's the truth. Most people quit when the excitement fades. Most people give up after their first big failure. Most people stop just before the breakthrough. But those who persist win. The hidden enemy, temporary defeat. Napoleon Hill introduces a concept here that separates the average from the great. Temporary defeat is not failure unless you quit. In his research, he found that many people gave up just inches from success. In fact, one of the most famous stories from this chapter illustrates it perfectly. Real-world example. 3 feet from gold. A man named R.U. Darby invested in gold mining during the gold rush. After months of digging, he struck gold. He bought equipment, hired workers, and started mining. But soon, the vein of gold vanished. He dug further. Nothing. Discouraged, he gave up, sold everything to a junk man, and left. The junk man hired an expert who discovered that the gold vein had shifted slightly. He dug just 3 feet away from where Darby stopped and struck one of the richest gold mines in Colorado history. Darby had everything, but he lacked persistence. Why people quit. Persistence fades when we overvalue comfort, underestimate time, fear judgment, expect instant results. But every worthwhile goal, wealth, freedom, purpose, requires grit. You'll be tested. You'll be ignored. You'll be misunderstood. You'll be tired. And if you stop, it's over. But if you keep going, you get stronger. What builds persistence? Hill identifies 4 key factors that feed persistence. 1. Definiteness of purpose. When you know why you want something, quitting feels like betrayal. Purpose creates power. 2. Desire. You must truly want what you're chasing. Weak desire equals weak effort. 3. Self-reliance. Believe in your ability to figure things out. Others may doubt you. Don't join them. 4. Definiteness of plans. Having a clear plan, even if imperfect, keeps you in motion. If one plan fails, make another, but keep moving. Together, these form a mindset where giving up isn't even an option. Real-world example, Colonel Sanders. At age 65, Colonel Harlan Sanders took his $105 Social Security check and went out to sell his fried chicken recipe. He pitched it to over 1,000 restaurants. He was rejected again and again and again. Most people would have stopped after 10, maybe 50, at best 100. But he didn't quit. Eventually, someone said yes, and KFC was born. It wasn't luck. It wasn't timing. It was persistence. I hear the power of daily action. Persistence isn't just a big dramatic moment. It's daily action. It's writing one more page, making one more call, practicing one more hour, pushing through one more no. You don't need to be extraordinary every day. You just need to be consistent. Small efforts, repeated daily, build unstoppable momentum. How to cultivate persistence. Here's how you build a persistence habit. Step 1. Create a definite goal. Write it down. Make it specific. Make it emotional. Step 2. Develop a plan. Don't wait for perfect. Just start. Revise as needed. Step 3. Refuse to quit. Make quitting non-negotiable. Banish the option. Step 4. Feed your mind. Read books. Listen to motivational voices. Surround yourself with achievers. Step 5. Track your progress. Seeing your own growth fuels your fire. Step 6. Rest. Don't quit. Take breaks. Recharge. But never stop moving forward. Real-world story. J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a billion-dollar brand, J.K. Rowling was a broke single mom, living on welfare, rejected by 12 publishers. Most would have given up, but she kept submitting, kept believing, kept writing. Today, her persistence is not just history, it's a legacy. You versus resistance. Every dream comes with resistance. You'll doubt yourself. Others will doubt you. You'll feel behind. You'll feel invisible. That's normal. But the difference between those who make it and those who don't? Final words. Be unstoppable. Hill's message is clear. Persistence is the price you pay for greatness. Without it, nothing works. With it, anything is possible. So when fear creeps in, when the results feel slow, when failure knocks, persist anyway. Because the world doesn't reward potential, it rewards perseverance. Chapter 9. The Power of the Mastermind. Multiply your mind, multiply your success. No individual may have great power without availing himself of the mastermind. You've heard it before. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But Napoleon Hill said it first, just in different words. He called it the mastermind. And in this chapter, we uncover one of the most underrated forces behind success: strategic collaboration. What is the mastermind? A mastermind is a group of 2 or more people working in harmony toward a common goal. But it's more than teamwork. It's more than networking. Hill describes it as the synergistic blending of minds, a creative force that produces insights, ideas, and momentum no single person could generate alone. When aligned with the right people, your thoughts become sharper, your focus stronger, and your potential practically unlimited. The science behind it. Hill wasn't just being philosophical, he was pointing to real science. Modern neuroscience confirms that when people share focused energy, brainwaves sync. Ideas bounce, evolve, and accelerate. Think of it like Wi-Fi. Alone, your device has limited range, but connected to a high-speed router, your performance transforms. That's what the mastermind does for your goals. Why you need one. No matter how smart or driven you are, your perspective is limited. You can't see your blind spots. You don't know what you don't know. The mastermind provides new ideas, accountability, confidence during hard times, opportunities you didn't see coming. It's the secret behind every major breakthrough. Historical example: Henry Ford and Thomas Edison. Napoleon Hill highlighted a real-life mastermind example. Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Harvey Firestone, and John Burroughs. These giants didn't just build empires. They spent weekends together, discussing ideas, pushing each other, challenging assumptions. They weren't rivals. They were accelerators of each other's success. Each one brought their genius to the table. Together, they created ripple effects across industries. Real-world example: Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Let's bring it to modern times. Steve Jobs had the vision. Steve Wozniak had the technical brilliance. Individually, talented. Together, they launched Apple, a company that redefined personal technology. Their dynamic wasn't just partnership, it was mastermind energy. Each amplified the other's gifts. The two types of mastermind. Hill defines two forms of mastermind energy. 1. Economic, the exchange of knowledge, resources, and support. Think business alliances, mastermind groups, mentorship circles. 2. Spiritual, the higher vibration of focused minds working in harmony. Think a group deeply aligned in purpose, energy, and intent. The emotional fuel behind big breakthroughs. When both forces combine, results can be exponential. The formula for a mastermind group. So how do you create your own? Here's Hill's modernized formula for building a high-impact mastermind. Selecting 1. Find the right people. Look for aligned values, diverse skill sets, mutual respect, shared commitment. It's not about being friends, it's about being focused. Step 2. Establish a common goal, whether it's launching a business, writing a book, or building financial freedom. Everyone must be locked in on the mission. Step 3. Meet regularly. Consistency is key. Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. Pick a rhythm and stick to it. Step 4. Keep energy high. No negativity. No ego. Everyone contributes. Everyone grows. Step 5. Protect the space. Trust and discretion are vital. What's shared in the mastermind stays there. Why it works. The mastermind works because it taps into collective thinking, shared accountability, mutual belief, emotional strength during setbacks. It creates a feedback loop of ideas, energy, and growth. You're not just stronger together. You're smarter, faster, bolder. The emotional edge. Here's something Hill pointed out that most people miss. A mastermind group gives you emotional stamina. When you hit failure, your mind fills with doubt. But when you're surrounded by high-minded allies, their belief in you lifts your own. You stop second-guessing. You start accelerating. Story: Oprah Winfrey's Inner Circle. Oprah isn't just one of the most powerful women in media. She's a master of the mastermind. Her inner circle includes producers, spiritual advisors, business strategists, mentors like Maya Angelou and Gayle King. She doesn't make major moves alone. She relies on collaboration, counsel, and clarity from trusted minds. And it shows. Her success is deeply rooted in connection. What happens without a mastermind? Without a mastermind, most people waste time repeating mistakes, get lost in their own head, burn out from isolation, lose motivation when results are slow. Don't try to do it alone. No one great ever did. Mastermind in the digital age. You don't need to meet in a room every week. In 2025, it's easier than ever to build your circle. You can join online mastermind groups, host Zoom strategy sessions, connect via Slack, WhatsApp, or private forums. Use platforms like LinkedIn to find high-value thinkers. The format doesn't matter. The intention does. Action steps: how to build your own ready to build your mastermind. Here's your plan. Step 1. Define your goal. What do you want to achieve in the next 12 months? Step 2. Identify 2 to 5 people you respect. These should be growth-oriented, committed, and positive. Step 3. Invite them with purpose. Be clear. Say, I'm building a focused success circle. Let's support each other toward our biggest goals. Step 4. Set ground rules. Time commitment, confidentiality, no gossip or complaints, only solutions and strategy. Step 5. Stay consistent. Protect the space. Treat it as sacred. Make it non-negotiable. Final words. Don't go alone. If there's one thing to take away from this chapter, it's this. You don't need to go faster. You need to go together. The mastermind turns your journey into a collective mission. It keeps you sharp, strong, and in motion, even when the road gets tough. So if you're serious about success, don't isolate. Build your circle. Multiply your mind. Elevate your results. End. Chapter 10. The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. Transforming passion into power. Sex energy is the creative energy of all geniuses. Napoleon Hill. Now, before you click away, this isn't about romance or relationships. This is about harnessing the deepest source of human drive and channeling it into achievement, innovation, and greatness. What do some of the world's most successful people have in common? It's not just intelligence, not just ambition. It's raw, focused energy, the kind that electrifies everything they touch. That energy, Napoleon Hill argues, comes from one of the most powerful human forces, sexual energy. What is sex transmutation? Hill defines sex transmutation as the process of redirecting sexual energy into other forms of productive activity, like business, art, leadership, or creative genius. In simple terms, it means taking the urge that normally fuels physical attraction and converting it into focus, ambition, and power. You're not suppressing it. You're transforming it. Why this energy is so powerful? Sexual energy is primal. It's rooted in desire, emotion, biological drive. It has intensity. It has force. And when redirected, it becomes creative energy, fuel for bold ideas, long hours, fearless risk-taking, and unshakable confidence. Hill believed that some of the most exceptional men and women in history, Einstein, Edison, Napoleon, Helen Keller, channeled this force without always realizing it. The emotional multiplier. Sexual energy isn't just physical, it's emotional. And emotion is the rocket fuel of achievement. People will die for love. People will risk everything for passion. Now imagine channeling that same intensity into your work, your goals, your vision. That's transmutation. It's not about avoidance. It's about intelligent redirection. The power of a definite outlet. This isn't a call for abstinence. Hill isn't suggesting repression. Instead, he suggests you elevate that energy to a higher frequency. Many high achievers have intense personal magnetism. They speak with charisma. They draw others in. Why? Because they've learned to speak, lead, and act with the intensity of sex energy without misusing it. That passion becomes magnetism in public speaking, persistence in business, creativity in invention, Confidence in leadership. Modern example. Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, Elon Musk is a perfect example. His intensity is off the charts. He's driven, obsessed, focused. He's known for working 100-hour weeks and thinking across multiple industries: rockets, electric cars, AI, infrastructure. Where does that energy come from? He said himself, "I'm fueled by the desire to change the world." That desire, raw and passionate, is sex energy transmuted. It's been channeled, not wasted. Historical example. Napoleon Bonaparte. Hill noted how Napoleon Bonaparte was both intensely passionate and deeply focused. His sexual energy gave him personal magnetism, but it was his ability to redirect that force into strategy and conquest that built an empire. However, when he lost control of that energy, especially in his personal life, it became a distraction and eventually a downfall. The lesson? Channel wisely. The common trap: draining versus directing. Most people never transmute their energy. They leak it through addiction, distraction, unproductive relationships, or shallow pursuits. That constant leaking drains willpower. It steals energy from your true purpose. But when you reclaim and redirect it, you gain greater focus, mental clarity, emotional resilience, a magnetic presence. How to transmute sexual energy. Here's how to convert that energy into creative power step by step. 1. Recognize your inner drive. Acknowledge the presence of desire, not with shame, but with awareness. It's natural, it's powerful, it's not the enemy, it's your engine. 2. Attach it to a purpose. Have a burning goal, a mission, a vision that excites you even more than physical pleasure. Desire without direction leads to addiction. Desire with direction creates empires. 3. Engage in creative work. Write, build, lead, speak. Channel that restless energy into your craft. Hill believed that some of the best speeches, inventions, and ideas are born at moments when sex energy is redirected consciously. 4. Form high-vibe partnerships. Surround yourself with people who also elevate energy, not drain it. Especially romantic partners. The right partner can multiply your energy. The wrong one will fracture it. Emotional transmutation. Don't miss this point. Sex transmutation is not only physical, it's emotional transmutation. Transforming lust into loyalty, fantasy into focus, passion into purpose. That's emotional mastery, and every great leader has it. Misunderstood by the masses. This chapter is one of Hill's most misunderstood. Why? Because it deals with a taboo topic. Most people never learn how to handle it, let alone harness it. But look around. The greatest brands, speeches, art, and movements were born from deep, emotional, passionate energy. This is what sex transmutation is about. Not denial, but direction. Real-world story. Muhammad Ali is often cited as an example of sex transmutation. He trained intensely. He abstained before fights. He channeled his energy into preparation, self-belief, and verbal dominance. He once said, "I don't count my sit-ups. I only start counting when it starts hurting." That's transmutation in motion, turning raw energy into relentless endurance. Application. Turn desire into drive. Take stock of your passions, your urges, your cravings. Ask, what if I channeled this into my business? What if I put that energy into my dream project? What could I build, lead, or launch if I didn't leak this power? This isn't philosophy, it's physics. Energy must go somewhere, either upward or downward. You decide the direction. Action steps, channel the force. Let's turn this into practice. First, set a bold purpose. Don't just set goals, ignite missions. Let your heart race thinking about it. Second, stay physically disciplined. Exercise, rest well, eat clean. Your body is your energy vehicle. Third, create. Don't chase. Don't chase empty stimulation. Build, write, serve. turn obsession into output. Fourth, choose high-energy relationships, whether romantic, business, or social. Stay close to people who elevate your energy. Final words. Use the fire. Don't fear it. Sex energy is the fire within. For some, it burns them. For others, it builds empires. Hill's message is timeless. The desire for sex is the most powerful of human desires. When harnessed, it gives you superhuman ability. So don't run from the energy. Redirect it. Rise with it. Build with it. Let it fuel your genius. Chapter 11. The Subconscious Mind, the Gateway to Limitless Power. The subconscious mind acts first on the dominating desires which have been mixed with emotional feeling. Napoleon Hill. What if I told you that every thought, every feeling, and every belief you hold, even the ones you're unaware of, is quietly shaping your future? In this chapter, Hill pulls back the curtain on one of the most powerful yet least understood tools we all possess, the subconscious mind. This isn't about mysticism. This is psychology backed by results. Hill believed, and modern science agrees, that the subconscious mind is a silent architect, constantly translating your mental blueprint into real-world outcomes. Let's dive in. What is the subconscious mind? Your subconscious is the emotional powerhouse of your brain. It doesn't think logically. It doesn't argue. It accepts whatever you tell it, especially when thoughts are wrapped in strong emotion. It controls habits, reactions, confidence, creativity, memory, your dominant beliefs, and most importantly, it controls the results you experience. How the subconscious works. Think of it like fertile soil. Whatever thoughts you plant, especially if you water them with emotion, it accepts and grows. Tell yourself you're a failure enough times, it believes it. Tell yourself you're unstoppable, repeat it with passion, it believes that too. This is where the power of autosuggestion, affirmation, and emotionally charged goals comes into play. How the subconscious works. Think of it like fertile soil. Whatever thoughts you plant, especially if you water them with emotion, it accepts and grows. Tell yourself you're a failure enough times, it believes it. Tell yourself you're unstoppable, repeat it with passion, it believes that too. This is where the power of autosuggestion, affirmation, and emotionally charged goals comes into play. The subconscious doesn't filter. Unlike your conscious mind, the subconscious doesn't judge, doesn't debate, doesn't reject. It only absorbs and acts. If your dominant thoughts are rooted in fear, doubt, or limitation, your subconscious will find ways to prove you right. If your dominant thoughts are focused on wealth, faith, and action, it will do the same. This makes your mental environment absolutely crucial. Modern example, Serena Williams. Consider Serena Williams. Since childhood, she was mentally conditioned by her father to think like a champion. She trained not just her body, but her belief system. She has often said, "The success of every woman should be the inspiration to another." That kind of mindset didn't happen by chance. It was planted, watered, and nurtured, long before she won her first Grand Slam. That's subconscious programming at work. Your subconscious never sleeps. Even when you're resting, your subconscious is active. It's the part of you that wakes you up without an alarm, solves problems in your sleep, reacts emotionally without thinking, and most importantly, it's the bridge between your thoughts and your results. Programming the subconscious mind. So how do you direct this power? Hill outlines several steps that are just as relevant today. 1. Repetition. Thoughts repeated over and over sink deeper into your subconscious. That's why affirmations and autosuggestion work. But they only work when done consistently and with emotion. Saying "I'm wealthy" once won't do much. Saying it daily with intensity while visualizing results, that rewires your inner blueprint. 2. Emotion. Facts don't move the subconscious. Feelings do. You must mix your thoughts with desire, faith, or love for them to take root. This is why Hill emphasizes emotionalized goals, not cold logic. 3. Vivid visualization. When you picture your goal with detail, what it looks like, sounds like, feels like, your subconscious believes it's real. And once it believes it, it gets to work behind the scenes, guiding your behavior, tuning your focus, and attracting the people and events that match that vision. The role of faith and belief. Hill connects faith directly to the subconscious. Belief is more than hope. It's certainty in advance. Your subconscious picks up on belief like a frequency. If you believe in your ability to succeed, your subconscious will align your behavior with that belief. And the opposite is true as well. This is why self-talk, environment, and the people around you matter so much. They all shape what your subconscious accepts as real. Negative thoughts poison the process. This part is key. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between positive or negative. It just responds. If you consistently think, "I'm broke, I never get lucky, this won't work out for me," your subconscious makes it true. So ask yourself daily, what thoughts am I feeding my mind? If your life is stuck, don't just look at your actions. Look at your internal script. Real life story. Jim Carrey's $10 million check. In the early 1990s, comedian Jim Carrey wrote himself a fake check for $10 million for acting services rendered. He carried it in his wallet. He looked at it often. He believed it with deep emotion even before he was famous. A few years later, he was paid $10 million for his role in Dumb and Dumber. Coincidence or subconscious alignment? That's the power of a clear, emotionalized goal imprinted on the subconscious. Protecting your mental environment. Hill makes it clear, guard your mind like your fortune depends on it, because it does. Surround yourself with uplifting voices, positive input, books, audio, and mentors that reinforce possibility. Your subconscious is always listening, even when you aren't. That's why what you watch, what you read, and who you hang out with matter more than most people realize. Programming techniques that still work in 2025. Here's how people today are applying Hill's subconscious strategy. Morning mind priming. Starting the day with affirmations, gratitude journaling, and vision statements. Audio repetition. Looping affirmations or recorded goals while working, exercising, or even sleeping. Emotional anchoring. Connecting your goals to a deep why. Family, legacy, freedom, or personal transformation. Digital detox. Reducing mindless content to protect subconscious bandwidth and avoid distraction-based programming. Final words. Master the mind, master the world. The subconscious mind doesn't care if your goal is small or massive. It just follows orders. If your commands are vague, fearful, or passive, you'll get unclear, scattered results. But if you plant bold, clear, emotional instructions, repeated daily, your subconscious will conspire with the universe to make it happen. As Hill wrote, "There are no limitations to the mind except those we acknowledge. Let's stop acknowledging limits and start planting new beliefs that match the future we want." Chapter 12. The Brain. Broadcasting and receiving vibrations of thought. Every human brain is capable of picking up vibrations of thought released by other brains. Applied to Napoleon Hill. Your brain is not just a storage unit for ideas. It's a broadcasting and receiving station, constantly sending out thought vibrations and receiving those of others. Napoleon Hill wrote this decades before neuroscience caught up. Today, research in quantum psychology, energy fields, and neural resonance confirms what Hill intuited. Your thoughts travel internally and externally. They shape your reality, and they can influence others. Let's unlock the mind's power to transmit success. You are an energy signal. Every thought you think emits a frequency. That frequency isn't just a metaphor. Brainwaves, like alpha, beta, and gamma, are measurable. They govern your mental state. More importantly, they're constantly being influenced by your beliefs, your emotions, and the environment around you. Your brain is never silent. It's always broadcasting. When you think a powerful, emotionally charged thought, like deep desire or faith, it's like turning up the volume on your mental transmitter. And guess what? Others pick it up, consciously or unconsciously. The brain as a transmitter. Hill believed that your brain operates like a radio station, sending out thoughts and feelings, especially when amplified by desire, faith, emotion, repetition. That's why when you're truly committed to a goal, people start showing up. Opportunities begin to align. Your brain begins to magnetize matching energy. Coincidence? Not quite. This is what Hill calls the law of harmonious vibration. You send out your frequency. The world echoes back in kind. The brain as a receiver. But it's not just about sending. Your brain is also a receiver, tuned to pick up vibrations of thoughts from others. Ever walked into a room and felt the tension? Or suddenly thought of someone you hadn't heard from in years and they called? That's not random. That's the receiver in action. When your mind is focused, emotionally energized, and purpose-driven, it becomes more sensitive to signals, opportunities, ideas, people. The power of collective thought. Hill emphasized the mastermind principle from Chapter 10 as the most effective way to maximize your brain's potential. When two or more minds come together, a third invisible force is created. Why? Because thought vibrations begin to synchronize. They amplify, they evolve, and often they unlock solutions that no single person could have found alone. Hill said the most successful people throughout history, Carnegie, Edison, Ford, and others, relied on thought alignment with others. In 2025 terms, this is energetic collaboration, synergy, shared mental frequency. Real-life example, Elon Musk and the power of collaborative thought. Elon Musk isn't just a solo genius. He surrounds himself with teams of brilliant thinkers across Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink. But it's not just intelligence, it's shared belief. His teams are aligned in vision, mission, and mental frequency. This harmony fuels breakthroughs at speed. They don't just work together, they think together. That's mastermind in action. That's the brain's power multiplied. Brainwaves and frequencies, the modern science. Today, brain research confirms Hill's ideas. Alpha waves, 8 to 12 Hz equals relaxed creative state. Beta waves, 13 to 30 Hz equals alert, focused thinking. Gamma waves, 30 plus Hz equals heightened perception, learning, unity. You can train your brain to operate in specific states using meditation, visualization, affirmations, focused breathing. These tools aren't just feel-good practices. They tune your frequency, making your thoughts clearer, stronger, and more attractive to like-minded energy. Thoughts are things. Again, Hill's core message returns here. Thoughts are things. But in this chapter, he takes it further. Thoughts are not only real, they are living forces, moving from one mind to another. Every invention, every fortune, every transformation began with a thought that someone tuned into. Think of your brain like Wi-Fi. Your brain is like a Wi-Fi router. It transmits signal, your desires, fears, beliefs. It connects to a larger network, universal intelligence, others' minds. And the stronger your signal, the stronger your connection. If your brain is filled with clutter, doubt, distractions, low energy, your connection weakens. But when it's clear, focused, emotionally aligned, downloads come faster. Ideas arrive. People respond. Doors open. This is what Napoleon Hill meant when he said, The creative imagination is the receiving set of the brain. Daily practices to strengthen thought transmission. So how can you intentionally broadcast and receive higher frequency thoughts? Here are a few time-tested and modern tools. Repetition with emotion. Write and speak your goals aloud daily, with feeling. This isn't just positive thinking, it's neural conditioning. Cyana, audio immersion. Feed your brain content that aligns with your vision. Audiobooks, affirmations, and success stories shape your frequency. 5. Mental stillness. Meditation helps you listen. It tunes your brain to receive. Quiet your thoughts, and insights will come. Mastermind alignment. Surround yourself with people who think at a higher level. Their frequency lifts yours. Visualization. Picture your goal daily. Make it vivid. Make it real. See it, feel it, broadcast it. Avoid low-frequency thought traps. Just as high-frequency thoughts attract growth, low-frequency thoughts pull you back. Avoid complaining, gossip, negative self-talk, fear-based media, and environments filled with doubt. These disrupt your mental signal, weaken your influence, and disconnect you from creative insight. Guard your brain like your future depends on it, because it does. Real-life example. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah has long spoken about the power of thought and energy. She once said, "You become what you believe, not what you wish or want." She attributes her massive success not just to hard work, but to intention, emotional alignment, and mental clarity. Oprah didn't rise from poverty to billion-dollar media mogul by accident. She mastered her mental signal, and the world responded. Final thoughts. You're always broadcasting, whether you're aware of it or not. Your brain is always on the air. Every thought, belief, and emotion becomes a broadcast signal. You can either let it run on autopilot, reactive, scattered, shaped by fear, or consciously directed, clear, focused, fueled by purpose. Hill's message is this: think intentionally, think emotionally, think together, because when you align your brain with your desire, your faith, and the minds of others, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Chapter 13. The Sixth Sense, the Door to Infinite Intelligence. The sixth sense is that portion of the subconscious mind which has been referred to as the creative imagination. Napoleon Hill. What if your greatest breakthroughs, your best decisions, and your most life-changing ideas didn't come from logic or planning, but from something beyond? Welcome to the concept of the sixth sense. It's not a fantasy. It's not magic. It's what Napoleon Hill called the door to the temple of wisdom. It's intuition, gut feeling, spiritual insight, or, as Hill describes it, infinite intelligence speaking directly to you. Let's dive into one of the most powerful and mysterious chapters of Think and Grow Rich. What is the sixth sense? The sixth sense is your inner radar. It's not one of the 5 physical senses, but a kind of mental and spiritual faculty that allows you to sense danger before it happens, recognize the right opportunity instantly, feel inspired or warned without a logical explanation, receive ideas, solutions, and guidance from beyond the conscious mind. Hill described it as the apex of the philosophy. It's the final step in turning thoughts into riches and living in sync with purpose. Where it comes from, the sixth sense, cannot be forced. It only activates when your mind has been trained through the previous steps: desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, decision, persistence, the power of the mastermind, the subconscious mind, the brain. All those steps build a strong mental foundation. Then, and only then, does the sixth sense begin to whisper. Intuition is real and powerful. Modern neuroscience has validated what Hill suggested in the 1930s. Your brain is constantly processing information below your awareness. The gut feeling you get, It's your subconscious and intuition combining memory, experience, and energy patterns into a fast decision-making mechanism. Top entrepreneurs, athletes, investors, and leaders frequently credit a feeling or something just told me when describing their success. That's the sixth sense in action. Real-world example. Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs once said, "Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition." They somehow already know what you truly want to become. He credited intuition over logic as the key driver behind Apple's biggest innovations. Jobs trained his mind through meditation, clarity, and ruthless focus. He didn't just think, he felt ideas. He anticipated trends before data confirmed them. That's Hill's sixth sense, 21st century style. Napoleon Hill's own experience. Hill wrote that he often consulted an imaginary council of historic minds each night. Lincoln, Edison, Ford, Napoleon, Darwin, and others. Through deep visualization, he would imagine advice from each. Over time, Hill said the conversations became so vivid that real ideas, strategies, and emotional clarity emerged from these imagined interactions. Was it his subconscious or something more? Either way, it changed his life and led to the philosophies in this very book. Infinite intelligence. What Hill really meant. Hill uses the term infinite intelligence to describe a universal force, a source of wisdom beyond logic, a spiritual intelligence guiding all life, accessible only through mental harmony and faith. Whether you call it God, Source, Universal Mind, or Higher Self, Hill insists it's available to everyone, not just mystics or geniuses. But it only speaks clearly when your mind is still, your emotions are calm, and your thoughts are aligned with purpose. How the sixth sense helps you. Here's how the sixth sense plays a role in your success journey. Instant insight. Ever had a sudden idea out of nowhere, but it solved a problem you were stuck on? That's the sixth sense breaking through. Early warnings. Sometimes we just know something isn't right. The sixth sense warns us of bad deals, toxic people, or dangerous turns. Inspired decisions. You may feel led to take a leap, start a business, move to a new city, or call someone at just the right time. These moments don't come from overthinking. They come from deep, intuitive alignment. Strengthening your sixth sense. You can't control the sixth sense, but you can invite it. Here's how. 1. Silence the mind. Meditation, deep breathing, or even a quiet walk help quiet your logical brain, allowing intuition to speak. 2. Ask, then wait. Ask your mind a question before bed or meditation. Don't force an answer. Often, clarity will come later, in dreams or sudden insight. 3. Record every flash. Keep a journal. When a feeling, idea, or nudge comes, write it down. Over time, you'll see patterns and proof of your inner guidance. 4. Trust what you get. The more you trust and act on your intuition, the sharper it becomes. Doubt weakens the signal. Faith amplifies it. 5. Protect your mental frequency. Avoid constant noise, media, fear, distractions. The sixth sense thrives in clarity. Unsense. Real-life example. Serena Williams. Serena Williams, the tennis legend, is famous for saying she sometimes plays by instinct. In interviews, she's described moments where she could almost feel where the ball would go, even before her opponent hit it. Was it training? Yes, but also something deeper. A sixth sense developed through years of mental discipline, emotion, and belief. That instinct gave her an edge, just like it can give you one in business, relationships, and decision-making. Sixth sense in business and life. Top CEOs often make decisions worth billions, not just based on spreadsheets, but based on intuition. They say things like, "It just felt like the right move. I couldn't explain it, but I knew. There was no data yet, but I sensed something big was coming." And often, they're right. That's the silent whisper Hill talked about. And those who listen, win. Final thoughts. You already have it. You don't have to create the sixth sense. You already have it. It's part of your mind, your soul, your system. The challenge? Most people never listen to it. They drown it out with noise, fear, logic, or doubt. But when you trust it, nurture it, and act on it, it becomes your most powerful guide. Chapter 14. How to Outwit the 6 Ghosts of Fear. Fears are nothing more than states of mind. Napoleon Hill. You've made it to the final chapter. You've built your dream. You've sharpened your mind. You've unlocked desire, faith, and imagination. You've tapped into the power of persistence and the infinite intelligence of the sixth sense. Now comes the final test. Fear. It's the silent killer of ambition, the invisible chain that holds back even the most talented. And if you don't learn to recognize and defeat it, everything you've built could fall apart. In this chapter, Hill pulls back the curtain on the 6 basic fears and shows how to outwit them before they destroy your dream. Let's break them down. Fear is mental and contagious. Fear, according to Hill, is not something external. It's a state of mind. It can be learned, absorbed, spread to others, and most dangerously, unconsciously accepted. Hill argues that most people are walking around controlled by fears they never even chose. Worse, fear shows up disguised as procrastination, doubt, indecision, criticism, excuses, perfectionism. But once you name the fear, you can face it. The 6 basic fears. Hill identifies the 6 ghosts that haunt human potential. Let's go through each, how it shows up, and how to beat it. 1. The fear of poverty. This is the granddaddy of all fears. It's the fear of being broke, losing everything, not having enough money to survive, depending on others. People ruled by this fear stay in toxic jobs, delay investing, or never launch their dream. How to defeat it? First, shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. Use faith, desire, and autosuggestion daily to reprogram your beliefs about money. Surround yourself with people who are building, not complaining. Example, many entrepreneurs delayed launching during hard times, but those who believed in value creation over fear of loss ended up thriving. 2. The fear of criticism. This fear holds millions in silence. It's the fear of being judged, mocked, laughed at, or told, "You're not good enough." People let go of bold ideas because they're worried about what others will think. How to defeat it? Realize most people aren't thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. Understand that criticism only stings when it reflects your own doubts. Use it as fuel. Most great leaders were ridiculed before they were respected. Modern example. Think of creators on YouTube or Instagram. The ones who push past criticism are the ones who grow, because they care more about impact than opinions. 3. The fear of ill health. This is the fear of sickness, pain, aging, or death. It can cause hypochondria, obsession with symptoms, anxiety about every ache, fear of exercise or activity. Hill says this fear is often planted by marketing, media, and even well-meaning people. How to defeat it? Build health habits daily. Movement, hydration, sleep, stress management. Focus on what's working in your body, not what might go wrong. Avoid the mental poison of constant medical fear content online. Example. Studies now show that people with positive beliefs about aging live longer and stay healthier. 4. The fear of loss of love. This fear shows up in jealousy, clinginess, possessiveness, fear of abandonment. It can sabotage relationships, fuel insecurity, or prevent you from fully loving others. How to defeat it? Develop self-love and independence so you're not emotionally dependent. Practice trust and open communication. Accept that love, to thrive, must be free, not controlled. Hill says this fear can become a weapon and is often used to manipulate others. Rise above that energy. 5. The fear of old age. This is the fear that you'll lose relevance, that the best years are behind you, that no one will need you anymore. But Hill flips the script. He says old age is when you gain wisdom, patience, and true clarity. And in many cases, your greatest success might happen after 50, 60, or 70. How to defeat it? Redefine age as an asset, not a limitation. Stay mentally, physically, and socially active. Focus on purpose, not a number. Examples: Colonel Sanders launched KFC at 65. Grandma Moses started painting in her 70s. Morgan Freeman's career exploded after 50. 6. The fear of death. The final ghost. Hill writes that this fear is the most unnecessary of all, because death is inevitable, but it can paralyze people with fear of the unknown, or steal the joy of life with constant worry. How to defeat it? Build a strong belief system, spiritual, philosophical, or personal, that gives meaning to life and death. Focus on living fully, not avoiding dying. Accept that life's value comes from its temporary nature. Hill's truth: fears are nothing more than states of mind. When you control your thoughts, even death loses its sting. How these fears show up even when you don't notice. You might not feel afraid, but these ghosts still appear as indecision, excuses, playing small, avoiding change, overthinking, procrastinating on your dream. Recognize the fear behind the behavior, then dismantle it with faith, action, clarity, repetition, purpose. Final summary of the 6 fears. Let's recap them clearly. 1. Poverty traps you in survival mode. 2. Criticism stops bold expression. 3. Ill health fuels anxiety and limitation. 4. Loss of love breeds insecurity and emotional dependence. 5. Old age makes you feel irrelevant. 6. Death steals joy from life. None of these fears are physical. They are mental patterns, and mental patterns can be rewired.